Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another What the F Happened To video. If you do not like this video series and you get offended by these videos, you may click the X. Do not feel as though you have to watch it. I'm not going to force you. But for those of you who are interested, what the f happened to Emily Ratajkowski? Is this Emily Ratajkowski or is this Kendall Jenner? Because I don't know what's going on here, but I think they are starting to morph into the same person and it's a little bit perplexing. Before we get into it, I just want to say a huge thank you to this video's sponsor, Kenzie. Kenzie is an at-home hair removal device which utilizes the power of intense pulsed light to painlessly and permanently get rid of your unwanted body hair. I don't know about you guys, but I hate shaving. I hate waxing. Waxing is messy and painful, and shaving just makes my hair feel like it grows back faster and thicker, not to mention the itchy shaving rash. For me, the area of body hair that I really don't want is hair on my bikini line. I just don't want it there. So for me, it was a no-brainer to invest in my own at-home IPL hair removal device because this is so different to any other hair removal method out there. With methods like shaving and waxing and epilation, your hair will always grow back. Sometimes it even feels like it grows back thicker or faster or darker than before, which is not ideal if you're trying to remove the hair. IPL, on the other hand, is totally different. IPL quickly and painlessly removes your unwanted hair by focusing a beam of light into your hair follicle, which effectively destroys the follicle, meaning that your hair will either grow back much thinner and slower and eventually not grow back at all. Now, I've been using my Kenzie for a long time and I barely even have to use it anymore because the hair just simply doesn't grow back. For me, I noticed results around 3 weeks of proper use. Full results kicked in around the 12-week mark. Now, of course, you can spend big bucks getting IPL done professionally in salons, but if you're like me and you want to remove hair from your bikini line, it's awkward. I don't want a stranger all up in my foof, okay? I had that with birth. I don't want to do it again with hair removal, and that's why I just like to do it myself at home. Not to mention, it is so much easier and so much more relaxing to just do it yourself at home. For me, I pop on a podcast or a YouTube video, I grab myself a cup of tea, and I just do my IPL. It doesn't hurt, and because I now own my own IPL device, I can do this whenever I want, however often I want, from the comfort and privacy of my own home. So if you're like me and you hate waxing, you hate shaving, you don't really like the idea of having to go to a salon and having someone all up in your grill doing your IPL for you and the cost that incurs, and you want to give Kenzie a go, I will put the link to their website in the description box down below, along with the discount code that they've kindly offered for you guys, which is Lange1, which will give you guys 20% off your own Kenzie hair removal device. So Emily Ratajkowski, in case you guys don't know who she is a supermodel. She is absolutely stunning. She's an author, she's an actress, and she is incredibly successful. She has, in fact, created such fame and fortune and success for herself because she is so beautiful. But something has happened to her recently, and I thought we would talk about it. Emily is one of those people that is lucky enough to have such a beautifully unique and interesting to look at face. Despite what social media would have you believe, unique and interesting faces are still beautiful. We don't all have to look like clones of each other. I love that Emily had her own unique beauty and didn't look like every other influencer and celebrity out there. She's got these beautiful wide set big brown eyes. She didn't have the overly fake inflated lips. She didn't have that typical Hollywood influencer celebrity ski slope Barbie nose that every single person seems to have. Apparently, Emily herself identifies as Polish Israeli. And to be honest, you can see that in her genetics, in her parents, in her. She's just beautiful. However, it seems to me that in recent years, Emily, just like so many others, has started going down the tweakment route and has started altering her looks, so much so that she is starting to morph into the likes of Kendall Jenner, whereas if you look at old pictures of Emily and old pictures of Kendall, naturally, neither girl looked alike apart from having dark eyes and dark hair. That's where the similarities ended. Now they look like sisters, if not twins. And this, my friends, is what happens when you start tweaking your face. You start losing that unique beauty, that unique identity that makes you look like you, and you start looking like other people who have also tweaked their faces, which isn't a bad thing. If that's what you want to do and it makes you happy and it makes you feel more confident, then go for it. But if that's not what you're going for, be aware that that is what can happen. So what do I think has happened to Emily recently? Well, the first thing is that she has broken up with the father of her child, Sebastian Bear McLeod. Splitting up with your husband, they were married for 4 years before breaking up, due to alleged cheating on his behalf, would be a massive knock to your confidence. So if I put myself in her shoes, I can understand why after that turbulent life-altering event, she might have felt the need to freshen things up a little bit. For example, Emily always had naturally full lips. She wasn't like Kylie Jenner, for example, who did have genetically thin lips, which isn't a flaw either, BTW, but Emily always had a full pout. She, in my personal opinion, absolutely did not need lip filler. Nobody does, but Emily certainly didn't. If you already have full lips, why on earth would you put yourself through the discomfort of having a needle shoved into your lips and injecting hyaluronic acid or whatever she's had put into her lips? It is not comfortable. I know, I've done it in the past. It hurts. Her top lip looks like it wants to explode. What irritates me is that Emily, just like so many other influencers and celebrities, denies ever having any work done, including lip filler. And I'm like, girl, why? I can see with my own 2 eyeballs that you have. She said in an Instagram story just a few years ago, I've never had lip injections, but I'm not judging those who do. Y'all look great. At the time, she put her pouty lips down to being pregnant, but she's not pregnant anymore, and her lips are just getting bigger. So who knows, maybe she did change her mind on lip filler and now has started getting it and just doesn't want to disclose that, which is fine. I personally think if you are someone with a massive fan base and in a position of extreme influence and power, that you should be open and honest about any tweakments you've had done, especially if your career is based around your looks, because we know for a fact that the youth of today are comparing themselves negatively to the beautiful people they see online, and that's why I think they have a certain responsibility to the youth of today to be open and honest, but that's just my opinion. Another thing that has changed the way Emily looks recently is that, to me, it looks as though she's begun having filler injected into her temples, yes, that's the thing, and cheekbones to give the illusion of fuller, higher cheekbones. The thing is, when you begin to age, and bear in mind, Emily is 32, I believe, so she would have definitely begun the aging process. When you age, you start to break down and lose the fat stores and collagen that you have in your face, and aside from your bones and muscle, that is basically what is holding your face up. So when you start losing the fat and collagen from your face, that is when your face can kind of sag and droop and you get fine lines and all that jazz, which celebrities and influencers can't seem to handle, and thus we find that they start injecting their faces with things like filler, or they get implants to try and reclaim their youth in a way. Another thing that I've been pondering over that I think Emily might have had done recently is this horrendous trend of buccal fat removal. To be fair to Emily, she's always had that kind of angular facial bone structure, but she never had an overly round or cherubic face. She never had overly full cheeks, but her cheekbones were also never this pronounced, or her buccal fat this non-existent. Which begs the question, Emily, what have you done to your buccal fat? Where is it? Imagine having such a beautiful face naturally and then doing that to it. It's kind of a mindfuck. And tell me what you guys think in the comments down below, but I have not seen one person who has had buccal fat removal who looks better after having it done. Another noticeable difference, which has totally changed the way that Emily looks, is that her brows never used to sit this high or at that angle. In fact, if you look at older pictures of Emily, she naturally had quite low set, heavy brows, which interestingly enough, so did Kendall Jenner, who also now, interestingly enough, no longer does. Now, your brows are very important to your face. They kind of act as like a frame to your face. So if you change your eyebrows in that you change the shape of them, you change their height or their thickness, their color, it throws off the whole look of your face. I think that she may have undergone what's known as a ponytail facelift. I've spoken about it before on my channel. It sounds extreme, like what kind of woman in her early 30s would need a facelift. None is the correct answer to that, but in Hollywood and in influencer and celebrity and model circles, it is so common to have a ponytail facelift. And this isn't the regular old school Kris Jenner style facelift we're talking about, where they like literally take your face off and then sew it back on. With a ponytail facelift, a surgeon will simply put a few cuts in your hairline, pull back the top half of your face, and then, sew you back together, which will make your eyebrows sit higher. It'll change the angle of your brows and your eyes, which will give you that kind of Bella Hadid look. And bonus, you won't even have those obvious telltale scars because the scars are hidden in your hairline. Very clever. Interestingly enough, I feel like even Emily's body has changed recently. And I don't mean in that she's had a baby. I mean, like, if you look at older pictures of Emily, where she was still tall and slim like she is today, it's like her ribs have gotten smaller or something in recent years. And I'm like, how have you done that? Because I know with your body, obviously you can gain weight, you can lose weight, but your ribs, your rib cage is part of your skeletal bone structure. Like, you cannot shrink your bones. Now, what I do like about Emily is that, to the best of my knowledge and to my eyesight anyway, it doesn't look as though she's altered her nose. I know some people, well, a lot of people claim that she's had a nose job, but guys, I just don't see it. She still has a slightly longer nose and is considered beautiful in this day and age, and her nose still slopes downwards, which is a cardinal sin by today's beauty standards. The bridge of her nose is also slightly thicker than is considered pretty. Her nostrils are too flared and high, and we see that because basically every other celebrity or influencer or model who originally had this kind of nose shape has undergone plastic surgery in order to fix their nose. I love that Emily doesn't seem to have changed her nose, and I'm so glad she hasn't, because Barbie Hollywood-esque ski slope nose would not suit her. So to end this video, I want to leave you guys with this. It is so easy to put beautiful women like Emily Ratajkowski on a pedestal and compare yourself negatively to them and be like, wow, if I just had her body or I just had her face, I would be so much happier. I would feel so much more confident in myself. My life would be so much better. But as you guys can see from this video and the other videos that I do on my channel, that is not necessarily the case. Even though Emily literally garnered fame and fortune because she is so beautiful, it does not mean that she doesn't have insecurities of her own. And you can tell that she does, because if she didn't, she wouldn't be tweaking her face. She wouldn't be trying to fix what she deems to be flaws. She wouldn't be trying to alter her appearance to look better. And despite her good looks, her husband allegedly cheated on her, which would devastate anybody. Like, what a wanker. So it just goes to show that despite what we're told, looks aren't everything.